With the hand broom done, it's time to create the dustpan. Before we continue, I would like to create a new collection and call this one dustpan. It's also active. Very good. The new file import wavefront. I again use the recap photo dustpan. Just import. There we are. Very good. And it's huge. So same thing here. We can select it and then S, scale it down, scale it down. And we see the rotation is wrong. So I could go into a top view, press R 180, go to a side view. So I pressed 3, or I can click on the X, R and 90. Very good. And then bring this down further, scale it further to get it close, go to side view. And so how do we continue now? So the handle is rotated and the dustpan, we can actually adjust to the rotation. Oh, I have this turned on. Let's do it this way. Very good. So what I will try to do now is make this edge line up with here. Then we somewhat have the rotation. We also need to figure out the scale. So before we continue now, we have to do a little bit more of wizard trickery. This has actually a sticker there too. So we could measure this and then redo the same process. I will skip it in our case because I will use actually the inside of this mesh as the surface for the inside. But that's what I scanned is actually the outside surface. So in terms of scale, that doesn't work. Okay, sounds confusing. Just follow what I'm doing. Then you will understand what I was babbling about. We want to rotate this one along the Z-axis first. And we have these 2 feet here. So R and Z, and there we can just scale the rotate this so they start lining up. So we're pretty close having it rotated correctly. So the next thing is we have to make this also horizontally correct. Shift S, cursor to world origin, Shift A, make a plane. We can scale that plane down. R, Y, and 90 in my case. Move this one down. S and Y, so I scale it up. And I try to see how does it intersect. Oh, it's actually pretty good. So for the moment, we can keep that. We can also make another, don't delete this. I can bring this one down and, for example, line this one up with the feet. That's a very easy element to check. So it looks like this has to maybe rotate a little bit along my 3D cursor. Just a notch. There. Okay, very good. So how do we do the rest now? Let's select this one and move this a little bit further away. There, okay. I will do this now. I will hide the dustpan. I will hide this, and then I will show the assemble part. That's my new clean geometry. I click this object, go to point select. I select this point, this one, Shift S cursor to select it. So I moved my 3D cursor to there, leave edit mode. Then I show the dustpan collection again and select the dustpan scan, just move it back there, and with 3D cursor being turned on, I can start scaling this a little bit and then try to figure out where is this actually nicely centered. So I'm paying attention to the distance there and there. Also, when I go into wireframe mode, how does this one fit? So you can see this distance is tighter than here. So this can rotate a little bit, and then I can move this whole thing up. Maybe rotate this a little bit more. Okay. Yeah. Close. Very nice. And now as a secondary element is to check the distance here and here. So Shift A, make a plane. Bring this one down. And whole object we move over. And here's a trick now. In edit mode, G and Y, I move it up. G and X, G and Y, maybe get it to there, line up, and then this and this point, G and Y, and move till it touches the element there. Very good. And I want to get the same on the bottom. Add modifier mirror along the y-axis. This is the y-axis. And well, it looks actually we're pretty close. So my computer was working for a second. So there and there, that's good. There and there, that's good. In case your object would be more like this, then we would know we have to rotate it. We can do actually a little double check. So Shift D, escape. Then we move the whole object over, go into edit mode, select all the points, G and Y, bring this to there. Okay, take a look at this. How is it here? Whoa, it's even there. So we can actually assume that the rotation is pretty good seen from there. To take a look at the sections here, we can press Alt B and then draw a selection and look around. And also there we can see this is actually pretty close. Alt B again. Maybe Alt B there. Also here, this is my modeled mesh. This is the scan. This is close. And also do an Alt B this way along this line to take a look at how does everything line up there. This goes pretty good too. Very nice. Okay, so that seems pretty nice. Let's do one last mini check. I'm just measuring, so 74. Oh, please don't move. Did the object move? Yeah. So Control 7 takes a look at the bottom. Then I will go to this view, Shift A there, and the object is 74 millimeters tall by 31. Oops. 31 millimeters. 74 millimeters. I can bring this one over. Then I bring this one to there. Let's go to this view. There. I will rotate this one so it's flush. Control 7. R. And what happened here? Can't I measure? Let's do this one more time. .74 millimeters. Oh, 74 millimeters by 31. Okay, good. So I want to rotate this one along its local orientation. See, there are some silly rotations. We set this all to 0, go back to this view, then I can rotate it, Control 7, scale this down. And there we can see now the scale difference. So that's why I said, like, you can't actually use, in this case, that under image, because the whole object we shrink. Okay, so that was pretty much everything about how to rotate and align this one. That actually was a very painful and fast approach. We could use actually these feet seen from the side and then seen from the front, make them horizontal, everything. And then we use the handle as our reference and then scale the whole object down so it flows nicely over the handle. The last thing we could do is Shift S cursor to world origin. And then we go to Object, apply scale and rotation, and Object origin to 3D cursor. Very good. That's part one.